Okay, this is my review on players this season. So first of all, I'm going to start off with David Ospina. Well, when he's been called upon as the second choice goalkeeper at Arsenal, he's done his job quite well. He's been great for us this season in the Champions League, but unfortunately, he's not getting in first choice before Czech. So hopefully he'll stay at the club next season. Next, I am going to do Petr Cech. Well, he's been doing good this season, but unfortunately, with penalties, he hasn't saved any this season. Something that he needs to work on and off the pitch to better his game. Other than that, he's done well. He completely saved us against Everton. It could have been probably 6-0 the amount of shots that he had, but he kept everything out. But unfortunately, he didn't save the penalty. Now I'm going to go to Emi Martinez. He's done great this season, but unfortunately, he hasn't had enough playing time to even review how he's done. But hopefully, he'll go on loan next season, and the club can see where he is and should he stay for the future. Next, I'm going to do Mathieu Debuchy. Unfortunately, he hasn't played much this season. I think the only game he played 16 minutes, and he got injured. So he'll probably be one of the players shortlisted to go this season. Next, I'm going to do Kieran Gibbs, another player that hasn't had enough playing time, but when he's been called upon, he's been playing great. So hopefully, Wenger will give him a new contract in the summer. But injuries again have tarnished his season. Next, it's Mertesacker. Well, he hasn't been in the squad really. Unfortunately, he's been injured, and he's been unable to play, and then he's way far down the pecking order to even be called upon, unfortunately. But hopefully, he's going to play on Saturday in the cup final, and hopefully, he can pull off a great performance. Next is Gabriel. He's been good this season. He's been called upon in the last few games due to Mustafi having concussion and other injuries. He's been playing great in this new back three role. So hopefully, when he's back from injury, he can carry that on into the new season. After that, I'm going to do Laurent Koscielny. He's been fantastic this season. He's been one of our standout players other than Alexis Sanchez. Unfortunately, he got himself sent off against Everton, going in for a rash challenge. Straight red card, so he will miss Saturday's final and the first two games of next season. Like he's had different injuries, but he's been good this season. And unfortunately, we lost him in the first leg against Bayern Munich due to injury once again, and we lost 5-1. And then we lost him in the second leg again because of a challenge in the box that should have been a red card. So that was, and we lost 5-1 again, and he misses three Europa League games next season. Next is Rob Holding. Well, he had a kind of a bad start to the season, unfortunately. With no experience in the Premier League, he got put in straight away to play against Liverpool, where Arsenal took the lead through Theo Walcott. And then Coutinho scored just before half time. No, just after half time to make it 1-1. And then he then also conceded another 3 goals. And then Alex Oxlade-Chamberlain and Callum Chambers both scored, but wasn't enough to make any difference in the game. And then he played against Leicester and Watford. Leicester, he kept a clean sheet. he done well in that game, and then from then he wasn't really called into the team. He was playing for the under-23s, and then come the end of the season now, he played in the FA Cup semi-final. He's played in all the semi-final games, and then now he's doing well on this back three where he's kept clean sheets and he's looking solid in defence. So hopefully next season he'll get more game time. After that, it is Nacho Monreal. He's been fantastic this season. Another standout player. He's doing well in this back three. It's tough competition between him and Kieran Gibbs, but when he's called upon, he's been able to save us. Like he scored the FA Cup semi-final in the FA Cup semi-final to draw us level against Man City with a fantastic volley. And he's been fantastic this season. There's nothing more I can say about him. After that, it's Hector Bellerin. He's had a really up and down season.
It's 18 hours.
Where he's been great towards the end of the season, but at the start of the season, he was having on and off games where he was dropped out of the squad for this back three, and Alex Oxlade-Chamberlain dropped in as a right wing back. So hopefully next season he can continue the form that he's had in the last couple of games and succeed, really, because he's still young. Next is Carl Jenkinson. Well, he got injured near the end of last season against Man City. He done his knee ligaments, unfortunately. He came back to Arsenal, wasn't getting in the team. And once he got in the team, it was the Capital One Cup game against Southampton, where he made a silly mistake by trying to dribble the ball out from defence, lost it, and they scored. And now he hasn't been chosen since, but he's been playing games for the under-23s where he's been doing good. He scored against Man City under-23s, the equaliser, in the last minute of the game. Other than that, I think he will leave in the summer. Next, I'm going to go on to the midfielders, starting with Aaron Ramsey. Well, he's had an up and down season where he's been great. Towards the end of the season, he's picked up his form, but at the start of the season, he was injured. He's only played 28 games out of probably about 50 due to injuries. So hopefully he'll stay next season and prove why Wenger should keep him in the squad. Next, it's Mesut Ozil. He's had a really on and off season where he's started off great, scoring a hat-trick against Ludogorets, and then his form kind of dropped, but now it seemed to pick up. Now he's assisting and scoring more goals towards the latter end of this season. Next, it's Alex Oxlade-Chamberlain. He's had a fantastic season, scoring goals, looking solid in this new formation. Unfortunately, he picked up an injury, but he should be back for the semi-final. Next is Santi. One player we've really missed this season, unfortunately, where he's had an injury on his Achilles. He came back from injury. He was training in the gym, and unfortunately, the scar tore open, and he had to. He was out. He had to have a skin graft on his ankle, so he's out probably till October time, but should be back soon. Next is Granit Xhaka. Well, this is his first season at the club. He's been good, but there's still room for improvement. His long balls towards all the players and stuff. His assists have been good, but he needs to work on his tackles because his foul against Burnley was uncalled for. Against Swansea was uncalled for, and this led to red cards. Next is Jeffrey in Adelaide. Well, he hasn't played really for the first team. He played against Sutton, but I seen him play for the under-23s. Once again, he's been good, but I think he needs to go out on loan, but his season's been ended with injury. Next is Coquelin. He's been good when he's called upon, but he's had on and off games. He likes to get stuck in, really, so hopefully he can bring that if he comes on as a substitute in the FA Cup final. Next is El Neni. Well, he had a great start to the season where he was playing more games, but since the African Cup of Nations, he hasn't really played. So hopefully next season he'll be able to play more. Now I'm going to do the strikers, starting with Alexis. He's had a fantastic season. There's no doubt about it. He's been scoring goals left, right, and centre. He's been assisting. He's probably been one of our best players this season. So hopefully he stays at the club next season and carries on his form. Next is Lucas Perez. Well, this is his first season at Arsenal. Unfortunately, he's had injuries and not getting into the squad. So hopefully next season, if he stays at the club, he gets more chances to be in the squad because he is a good player, like scoring a hat trick in his first hat trick in the Champions League. Next is Olivier Giroud. Well, he had an injury towards the start of the season from the Euros, and then he came back. He wasn't scoring, and then he scored against Man United to draw the game level. So hopefully next season he'll be scoring more goals and making a bigger impact on the team. Hopefully. After that is Theo Walcott. Well, he had a good start to the season. He hit his 100th goal for the club at the beginning of last year. At the end of last year, I mean. But he's been dropped out of the squad due to this new rotation in, obviously, the lineup. Next is Alex Iwobi. Well, with Alex, he had a bad season compared to how he ended last season because he's just not just doesn't know how to finish a ball. So hopefully next season he'll be more confident in scoring, or hopefully he goes on loan to a club that will be able to help him feel more confident in scoring. Next it's Sanogo. Well, he hasn't been in the team at all due to personal reasons that I will not discuss on here. And last it's Danny Welbeck. He's been great, but injuries have tarnished his season. But when he's been called upon, he's scoring, like his goal against Man United. Fantastic goal once again. His 2 assists in the last game of the season were fantastic, even though one was a missed kick. So hopefully next season there's no injuries and he'll be fine and scoring more goals, just like Giroud.